Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Divine Cupid podcast. If you're new, I'm your host, India Watson, and if you're not new, welcome back. So guys, welcome to today's podcast episode. Today's episode is a lot of reflecting. I honestly don't know if these episodes are sounding so sad and sentimental or if they're like relatable. I've done this multiple times and I feel like I don't want my episodes to sound like a pity party. I just want them to sound like an experience that shaped me. Through my life, I've gotten a lot of like 5-year, 4-year, 3-year, 2-year ago today memories, 1 year ago today memories. Some of them are hard to kind of like look at when it's like people that you were really close with that you're no longer friends with, or experiences of your life that were really hard. I would say junior year and senior year around this time were both very rocky months. I say the senior year was a rocky month because it was, but I also had a ball at the same time. Like there was a little bit of balance there. Like I was low-key losing my mind, but I was having a good time at the same time. Junior year was hard because I feel like I was a very insecure person. I feel like I was not showing up for myself the way that I should have. I felt like I kind of lost myself a bit my junior year. And I don't want to say a bit. I definitely lost myself my junior year. I don't know what I was really doing or what I really had going on. And I felt like I wanted some fulfillment so bad. I was searching to feel whole. I was not really a person who was like very adamant about their appearance. Like I feel like right now, and I'm not going to say like in a very conceited way, like I care a lot about my appearance, but I'm put more effort into my appearance than I did not really care. I did not wear lashes, no lip gloss, no none of that. Well, lip gloss obviously, but that was it. Just like lip gloss. I didn't really care about like what outfit I had on. Throw on some sweats, a sweatshirt, some regular beat up shoes. I was a beater's warrior. Like all my shoes were beat up. I didn't care. I was here to get through the school day, baby. I did not have nothing else in mind. And I had no man. I was like, I have no man to impress. None, not a nothing. And I was just like low-key chilling with whatever I had going on. And then I had started feeling like, I don't want to say less adequate, but I started feeling less like myself. So I felt like I needed to do more for myself and put more into myself, which I started doing. And that has gotten me here. One thing that I appreciate about my junior year is I've learned a lot about myself. I think that was a very low year for me because I had to really look at myself and reflect. Like a lot of my problems I feel like came from me not being there for myself or me not really loving myself in the way that I should, or looking at the way that I deal with people and I handle them. That was like my junior year was truly my character development year. I'm not gonna lie. Back then I was not a person who can handle confrontation and conflict in a respectful way. If you go low, I'm going lower. You go low, I'm going real low. Like there's no baseline for me. I was going low, 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 low. Baby, get low, low. Like I was going down. And I was also a person who like was trying to change a lot of the things about myself. And when people would bring things up to my attention, it would shatter my soul. Oh my gosh, like it was like the tip of the iceberg for me. Like my friends would be like, India, sometimes you're like this. Oof, that ruined my day. That would ruin my day. Like that constructive criticism stopped feeling constructive, and it just started feeling like criticism to me. It just felt like everything was not going my way. My junior year, like I was in ASB, that was the worst year of my life. To be in a pair of people who like hate your soul, oh, that was so hard. And like you have to be the leader of people who just are so adamant of being against you, and it just made me such a miserable person because I was trying so hard. My people pleasing skills were at a all-time high because I was trying so hard with people who were not trying to meet me in the middle. They were not trying to meet me in the middle. They were not trying to help me. They were not trying to I don't know, like even think like what I knew what I was talking about. And I feel like that made me a miserable person to be around. Or being told like I was a miserable person to be around was so hard. I will never forget like some of the things that I've heard like people say to me tore me down in ways that like I didn't think it would. Like, words do hurt to a sense, but I never take words like, I took it to heart. I'm not going to say I never took it to heart. I took it to heart, but I took it to heart to change it, because I was like, I don't want people to hate being around me. Like, I don't want people to be around me and be like, damn, like, she's such a miserable person. That was hard. And it was harder when you were like going through something and like life felt hard. Like, things felt hard because like I didn't really know how to navigate through my own emotions. And I'm not blaming like my lack of understanding how to navigate through what I was going through on me being a negative Nancy sometimes. And I'm not blaming the constructive criticism I felt as to why those things like bring you further down. Everything is a learning experience and everything shapes you. Rock bottom is beautiful. Like, don't ever let nobody tell you rock bottom is bad, because rock bottom is a great thing, because that is the only way. You can only go up from there. Like, you can only build yourself back up. My junior year was hard for me because I, like I said, had a lack of self-love. I felt like I was a very insecure individual. I felt like I just let other things run me that did not need to run me. Like, I was not choosing me in the way that I needed to choose me. But I know now, like, I will forever choose myself because I was not doing that before. Like, when you walk out of situations where you just let anything go, where you walk out of situations where you were just people pleasing to the max, when you walk out of situations where you were begging for a door to be open that was blatantly closed in your face, when you walk out of that, you will never go back to that. You will never want to go back to that. Like, my senior year, my grandmother had passed in August, and then her birthday was in September. My sister's birthday was in October, so that was her first birthday without my grandmother. Then, boom, November, first Thanksgiving without my grandmother. Then, boom, December, first Christmas without her. Then, boom, first New Year's without her. First, my 18th birthday without her. My graduation without her. Like, it was very hard. Grief is very hard. That was a very challenging thing to go through and to experience, because I did not know how to grieve. And I still can't really tell you I know properly how to grieve, because I don't think I did it the right way. I really don't. But I did it the best way that I can. And every day you are still grieving. Every day you are still missing and loving and caring. And every day, like, someone you, lost and love is still around you, and you're still learning how to deal with those emotions of, like, missing and yearning and desiring to see and experience them again. But junior year was hard for the fact that I had lost my grandmother, and not junior year, senior year was hard for the fact that I had lost my grandmother, and she was a very big part of my life. She made the 5 of our 5 people family. It's always just been me, my dad, my sister, and I. And my grandmother was the only person that, like, was really, like, there. Like, she was taking care of us when my parents were working. You know, she was there, and she was a soul. She was the sweetest soul. So it was just really hard to lose her and not know how to grieve, and, like, not know how to I'm not a very emotional and affectionate person, so not knowing how to really deal with other people's emotions and affections too, but wanting to be strong for them. That was hard. That was a hard thing, but grief is beautiful because it allows you to admire the life around you. My senior year was like a challenge because I feel like I was going into situations where I knew I shouldn't have even been in them for the first place. And one thing about me, I don't hate anything that I've ever gone through, and I don't hate any version necessarily of myself, and I don't hate anything that I've done. And I won't say I have regrets, but I have, what's the word? I have learned my lesson. I have learned my lesson on a lot of things. And I know that there are things that I would just never go back to, and things that I would never do again, and things that I wish I never did. But my whole purpose of making this episode was because deep down, me saying those things and knowing those things, sometimes I carry resentment towards myself for my past mistakes and my past experiences and the lack thereof of the things that I did and did not do. And sometimes it's very hard to forgive yourself. But if you want to go into the new year and you want to feel like a weight is lifted off your shoulders, you need to forgive yourself. Now, since I got into grudges, I can say, like, I am the person who would hold a grudge. Like, a grudge and me were like this. Like, we were locked in because I was like, a person who wrongs you once should never get the opportunity to wrong you again. Now, that saying goes out the door because I would go back to people who had wronged me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And I would still go back and be like, oh, no, they changed. It's okay. But now, or like, I would say like senior year, really began the whole, like, you messed up, like, you're done, you're cooked, you're gone, like, I'm gonna block you, I will never speak to you again, I don't care about anything that's going on with you, anything you have going on, like, I'm not interested, goodbye. Me, right or wrong, like, goodbye. Like, goodbye. And as time has gone on, I have learned to be more forgiving, and I have learned to let go, because holding on to, like, unforgiveness and holding on to old drama that never serves you, and, like, if you have to, like, ask yourself, like, I don't even know why I don't like this person anymore, yeah, let it go and let it die, let it go, let it die. Like, there's no more forgive and forget, because you've already forgotten. So just forgive and move on. And because I've been so forgiving with other people, and I've been forgiving with people who have really, like, really did their big one, did their biggest one on me. And because I've been forgiving towards them, I feel like you should equally be forgiving towards yourself. We all make mistakes. We all, like, experience things. And I think, like I said, in order to walk into the new year feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, is to let it go. Like, let it go. And also, bigger thing is, like, graduating high school. It's like, do I really want to hold on to a bunch of high school drama? Do I want to hold on to a bunch of high school beef? Like, people change in, like, a short amount of time. And it's so crazy because I feel like I have changed in a very short amount of time. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm a little proud of myself. I'm a little proud of myself because I feel like I've struggled with getting back into religion and, like, getting back into, like, having a deep-rooted faith in God. And those are things that I'm starting to do again. I've gotten away from, like, my hobbies, the things that fuel me into being the person that I am, and now I'm trying to get back into those things. I have walked away from, like, I don't know, things that I was just very morally standing for. I used to be a person who was very consciously considerate of all my actions. Like, I was never a for the plot and, like, F it, we ball kind of person. I had wanted to be so bad, but, like, I remember, like, my best friend at the time when we were in, like, 10th grade, I remember I had, like, this guy, and, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna tell him I like him, because, girl, one thing about me, I was bold. I didn't care. I still am. Like, I still will. Like, I was like, I'm gonna tell him. And when I told him, he was like, oh, like, I'm not really, like, looking for a relationship, but, like, we could still, like, do stuff. Like, we could still, like, hook up and stuff. And I was, like, talking to her, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I've never done anything with a guy like that. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I was like, should I? Because I was like, should I? Like, should I give it a try? Like, like, just, like, a little kiss, whatever. I promise you, for, like, 3 days, we had talked about this. Like, three consecutive days. Just for me to not do it, because I was like, no, that's just, like, a really bad idea. Like, why would I do that? Like, where is this going? This is going nowhere. And then I had, like, told him, like, hey, like, I don't really want to be with you like that. Like, I just like you. And if you don't want to date me, then I don't want to date you. Like that. Like, I don't want to do what you got going on. I was a person who was very consciously considerate of how my actions would not the stuttering. I was very consciously considerate of how my actions would impact my feelings later down the line. That was my sophomore year. Junior year, then I had, like, a really, really, really big crush, and I was just, like, not really there for myself. And then I had gotten really insecure. And those are just two really bad combinations. And I had to learn to build myself back up. And that kind of backfired because I was putting more energy into someone else. So, like, after one situation, I had put my energy into somebody else. And that was like playing with fire. Like, that was like a hot, cold. Like, one day we're really, really good. Like, it's great. It's perfect. It's phenomenal. It's like beautiful. Next day I'm blocked on everything. And I was like, no, please unblock me. What did I do? Like, I was, like, crashing out every day. And that was just really emotionally draining. So then I had to build myself back up emotionally. And that whole summer, that is what I did. Like, I was like, okay, I'm not really doing all these theatrics, and I'm done with all these games. Like, I'm just gonna focus on myself. Started reading my Bible, started building myself back up. Senior year, boom, that kind of took a turn. Took a big turn. Lost my grandmother. Went through a bunch of other things. Had to build myself back up from that. And had to get back to the position that I am now. And I'm forever grateful. I don't hate any of the mistakes that I've made. I don't hate myself for the mistakes that I've made. I don't hate myself for anything. I don't hold any regret and grudges towards myself. I have, like I said, learned my lesson. And I have learned from those things. That is the best experience that I have for this year is that I have learned from a lot of my mistakes, and I know to never make those mistakes again. I have learned to be forgiving towards myself, and I'm teaching myself to be. I have learned to be forgiving towards others, and I'm teaching myself to be forgiving towards myself. I am actively choosing every single day to let old shit die, because old shit needs to be dead. And holding on to something that is no longer fueling you makes you a miserable and angry and hateful person. And those are things that I do not want in my life. Those are things that I want surrounded by me, and that's not a person that I want to be. I think growth requires reflection, and to look back at who you were, how you were, who you've affected, who you've hurt, how you've hurt yourself. Situations and things that you know that you've walked away from, morals that you stood so firmly by that you just dropped in an instant. You need to look at that, and you need to look at yourself. And instead of like making a whole episode being like pointing fingers and being like, this person ruined my life, this person ruined my life, that person did that to me, that person did this to me, this person said this to me. You gotta look at yourself. You gotta look at yourself. You gotta look at your experiences. You gotta look at what happened within certain situations, and you need to look at you, because that's all you can control, and that's all that is within your power is you. And I don't know. I've wanted to talk about that for a while, because I feel like those are thoughts that have been weighing in my mind, and appreciating each season of your life. The person that I was last year, she was cute. She had her problems, but she was cute. The person that I was 2 years ago, she was cute. She definitely had her problems, but she was cute. And the coolest thing about that is, like, I'm no longer those people. Like, I'm no longer them. I am no longer that little insecure girl junior year that was, like, low-key insecure. Like, low-key going through it. I'm no longer the girl senior year that just recently lost her grandmother and was going off the walls. Like, no longer that. I'm just me, and I'm just going through life day by day, experiencing it day by day, processing things day by day, and mitigating through whatever the day has to bring me, and focusing on what fuels me, and not what fulfills other people and what brings me closer to other people and what people-pleasing tactic I can accomplish and do today, but like really like choosing myself actively, choosing myself, being there for myself, being the things that I wanted, that I wished I had did, doing them now, because wishing I did them then is not going to change what happened then, but focusing on what I can do now will impact the person that I become in the future. And yeah, that is it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you next week.